Yeah, and you mentioned your study club members, Spencer study club members. You've worked with a lot of them or had a lot of them over the years. Many of them, I would imagine, from early on are still with you. What is it? And and on top of that, you've also lectured all over the world about sleep and TMD. What is it that you see most often? Like, what are the common traits, the commonalities with dentists that realize success in those areas and those that just sort of flounder and abandon it?
Well, frankly, I think we just saw an example of that. So Erin's a real dentist, and she saw something. She said that sounds cool. She went and took a course, but then what did she do? She did something with it. That's the differentiator right there. There are so many dentists that will take a course, learn a bunch, never use it ever. I mean, and this can't just be in my field. This must be in everything, right? I don't know if that's the case, but I would just assume it is. So that's the difference is you have to have that thing in you that says, you know what? I know I don't know everything, but I know enough to get started. And maybe also you have that feeling of like, it's one of my pet peeves, frankly, and I'm sure Erin, you get this all the time too, is dentists that, take a course from me or whatever. And then they're kind of like, okay, Jameson, what do you charge for that? And my common response is, well, when I used to suck like you do, I charged a lot less. And I'll do that. And they'll kind of, nervous laughter there. And I'm like, "No, seriously, man, like you're asking me, my fees or whatever, and you haven't even done this yet." And I get that, but that's a little bit of another soapbox I could get on that insurance pays someone who frankly sucks the exact same as someone who does a great job. So that's where they're coming from, that mindset. But my point is dentists should just jump in. So when I teach about sleep, I'm like, hey, start with yourself. And it's always shocking to me, a crowd of 50, 100, 300 people, whatever. Hey, how many people snore? Dozens of hands go up. How many of you have an oral appliance? And four hands go up, and they're all dentists. And that's a little bit on us too. On, I would say, us in dental sleep medicine, because Erin, I'm sure again you hit this all the time. Do you know how many dentists think that if they don't get a prescription from a physician for the oral appliance for themselves, they're going to prison? Like, they think that that's like FBI level crime. And I'm like, aren't you a doctor? And I have to explain to them the whole history and all that stuff. So that's what it is, Jason. It's just people that are willing to go be uncomfortable. It's
It
people
is
that are
lack
willing
of,
to be uncomfortable.
yeah, it's lack of fear. I before I take any course, I have a patient ready the next week, barring that I need special equipment. But even then, I try to have that ahead of time and do it at a reduced fee or free and ready to go. We tell people probably like you is start with yourself, test your team, their bed partners, your friends, your family, get some reps in. And the second thing is I think dentists do get a case of the what ifs, and they think about every single terrible outcome that could happen before they think of all of the good things that they could do, and they scare themselves out of helping people. So
Agreed.
you kind of have to have a little bit of this. It's interesting. I posted something about how you can use an endophile in prevent and lower the gag reflex by just putting a little endophile in the chin. And all of the questions I got behind the scenes, did they sign a consent? Did you get acupuncture licensure? All this stuff. I'm like, let me guess, California? Like so many patients in California don't get the help they need because of this suing mentality. And I think that if you realize what standard of care is and that you're safe, that will push a lot more people into actually doing something.
Totally. You probably don't know this, Aaron, but I was trained in acupuncture. Did a medical acupuncture course. I was licensed in Idaho as an acupuncturist because I thought I had to
Yeah.
be, and then I let my license lapse by accident. And I was like, "This is stupid. Why do I have to go to this extra licensure?" I went to the board of dentistry, met in front of them, and said, hey, here's all these articles on using acupuncture for dental reasons like the one you just mentioned. And there's also anxiety and anesthesia effects and all sorts of stuff.
Mhm.
And they say to me, they say, Jameson, who told you couldn't do acupuncture as a dentist? I'm like, well, the board of acupuncture. They're like, we're the board of dentistry. You're doing it for dentistry, right? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you only care about what we say. I was like, okay. But California, you are right. California, you have to be a full on Chinese medicine graduate in order to do acupuncture in the state of California. But you're 100% right, Aaron. It's that fear, that anxiety, and then it's easier for them to do nothing than to do something.
Sleep matters.